Hello, so today I thought I'd speak about the best things you can do for yourself if you are suffering at the moment with anxiety or depression, or just low mood, anything that's kind of affecting your daily living. The biggest thing I think is to reach out and to speak to someone about how you're feeling. Obviously someone that you trust, someone that you know isn't going to judge you or make you feel like you're wrong for feeling the way you do. But one of the most powerful things that can happen if someone has, say, anxious thoughts that they're not happy about, that worry them, of like, why am I having these thoughts, is the fear that then stops people from reaching out and kind of getting the anxious thoughts from their head, or if they're feeling low and they feel ashamed or embarrassed. That only makes the problem worse because there's more power in something that can't be expressed, that we don't dare say to anybody. It kind of just creates more of a problem. Instead of the anxiety being seen as something that can be shared with someone and explored, it's seen as something incredibly shameful that people feel guilty about. And that just creates more power, which makes more anxiety, more depression, more low mood, and it just kind of all feeds itself into a big circle. So the first thing I think would be important is to find someone that you trust. And if it's not someone if you don't even want to see anyone face to face, ring the Samaritans. Just get it out to someone who's going to validate you and just, kind of encourage you to keep expressing. Because as I said, and I know from my own experiences of anxiety, the worst thing I did was kept it all in. And actually I was really surprised by the reactions of not everybody, but most people that I told about certain worries that I had and certain thoughts were really supportive actually, and told me that they'd at some point would have a similar thought, or something very similar, and just saw it as quite a normal thing and something I shouldn't have been giving extra attention to. So that was the first thing. The second thing kind of links into that, and it would be to express it. So if it can't be expressed verbally and to anybody else, at least try and write things down. Keep a diary if it can be kept, private, or just write and then burn it afterwards. But just get those feelings out. It doesn't even have to be in written word. It could be expressed through dance, singing, anything. Just connect with something where those feelings can have a voice or can have some energy that is coming out of your head, and just, released through the body, through the spoken word, written down, anything like that. Obviously another big thing is be kind to yourself, because again, like with not sharing things and feeling embarrassed and ashamed, if we then are hard on ourselves when we have a low day, or we worry, or we have a panic attack or something, and the first thing we do is kind of shame ourselves or get upset that we've had it because we think we're a failure or we're useless, that again is just feeding into that same cycle that will just keep the anxiousness and the low mood more present. Whereas if you can actually just be kind and kind of nurture, look after yourself like you would if it was a friend or even like a small child, even be that protective, like that nurturing, offer that to yourself, because without self-compassion, healing just can't take place, because you're never going to allow yourself to give yourself what you need all the time anyway, not just in those moments where things have got kind of bad. Other little things are, I think, important. It's really hard, because when someone is suffering, it really takes something to just click in where they're really ready to go out there and face getting any kind of help. And that can be really hard for people around them that, might get frustrated or can't understand, why on earth aren't you doing anything you can to get better? But actually it can be really scary, and it's that fear again that holds people back, silences people, shuts people down, stops people from reaching out and trying things. But I think an essential part of recovery is being really open to just exploring what help is out there. If one thing doesn't work at that particular time, go and try something else. Just be really open to listening to as many sources as possible, people who have recovered themselves, professionals that have done, a lot of research, just listen to everything, because something is bound to help. Something is going to fit with you in that moment, and even if it doesn't fit right then, it, you know, something will fit in time. And the hardest part is accepting that help or trying something new and pushing forward, because it's so scary. It takes a lot. You know, it can feel like a massive risk, but actually, until you're able to take those steps, you know, you kind of really have to go down into it to come out into feeling better and feeling recovered. But sometimes it just takes a while to get to that point where you're just either so fed up, so low, so incredibly anxious, but another part of you at the same time is rising up that has hope, that has some energy to start recovering. So yeah, and then just once you are ready, just be open. You know, if you see a counsellor or you have CBT or you try yoga or meditation and it doesn't work, first of all, don't give up. Like, keep going. Things aren't going to work straight away for a lot of people, unfortunately, because really desperately that's what you want. You want something to just start, you want instant results. But the reality in counselling, especially, I think in any kind of talking therapy where you're starting to face the things and bring them up to the surface for the first time, it is going to be difficult. It is. You know, on the other hand, it could be a relief just to get these things out and know that you're on your way to starting to feel better. Other things are quite... I've completely forgotten the word that I'm thinking of. Yes, I can't remember it. I guess things that you've probably already thought of before. So trying to maintain some kind of routine, just a little thing each day that you might do that just helps you, feeling like you're achieving something maybe and bringing some kind of meaning to life. Whether that, if you've got a pet or if you haven't got a pet, you can walk other people's dogs and things, look after something other than yourself. It might just be plants, like watering them. Getting outside, if it's just for 5 minutes, just sitting in the garden, not even going anywhere, just try and do something each day that shows that you're kind of moving forward. And it might be as simple as just making your bed. You know, I made my bed today and I had a shower. Some days that is enough, that's more than enough, but it's something, and you're moving forward. Other things are, if you can, do some kind of exercise, and that can be anything. It doesn't have to be hardcore sprinting around or like lifting weights, but for a lot of people that might really help. That might really kind of spark some fire. For other people it might just be sitting doing some really light stretching, some Pilates or yoga, or just going for a walk, or just walking around the house up and down the stairs if you're too anxious to go outside. When my anxiety really hit, I couldn't even walk like a mile, because I was so obsessed with the thought of there being something wrong with my heart, that anything that would increase my heart would just panic me tremendously. So a lot of exercise was just out of the question, but the one thing I could do was really, really gentle yoga, because it didn't raise my heart. And actually the breathing, because I would do it at home, the breathing exercises and trying to sync my breathing to the movements was really helpful, and it used to help kind of calm down my busy mind. So even though I'm saying try and exercise, I know how difficult it might be for anyone who might be watching that might be struggling with some kind of health anxiety or something like that at the moment. Another real essential thing, especially when the sun is out, is to get outside. We're all so lacking in vitamin D in countries like England because there's just not enough sun, and it's vital for our immune system, our happiness, just everything. So, and I guess if you really can't get outside, if your anxiety is really bad or your motivation, get a sad light. It's for seasonal affective disorder. You can get them. I used to have one at uni where it used to come on like the sun during the morning. And then at night it used to go down kind of like the moon, not the moon, the sun setting. So it would affect the hormones in is it melatonin? Melanine? No, melatonin, I think. That helps you kind of get ready for sleep, the natural sleep patterns. And in winter, especially for people with SAD, that really helped me, having a SAD light. You can also get them where they can just be dotted around the house, and that way you're kind of getting that light that will stimulate your brain to make those more kind of motivated chemicals that make you feel more energized and more likely to feel like you have the energy to do anything. So yeah, just a few little thoughts today, but definitely the biggest one would be to reach out, and there's so many different ways to do that. You know, start however you need to start, and you don't know where that could end up, whether it be calling the Samaritans, you know, joining a forum where you can be really anonymous and just expressing and realising that there's so many other people out there that will be going through a similar thing to you, so you can support each other and feel more normal for how you feel, because the shame, the fear, the guilt are just going to delay healing. So that reaching out and expressing it and being kind to yourself are probably the top three. So yes, I think I'll leave it there for today, but thank you for watching.